And welcome back to the Saddle Dome at halftime. It's 60-53. That's the score of our game. Calgary, after trailing by, at one point, as many as 9, have come back here, and they've taken the lead. They just kind of wore them down. Eddie Doucette, Tom Nisalke, and Tom, I think that probably the strategy of Roger Lyons that he talked about before the game, using defense at the right time, just kind of wore the Saskatchewan team down, a thin team because of injuries.
Yeah, I think it did, Eddie. I think also they went into a half-court trap a couple of times, and the times that they did it, 2 of the 3 times that they did it, they got the ball either through an interception or a deflection, something of that nature.
Well, you really have to give Saskatchewan a lot of credit. They came roaring out of the blocks, got out to a nice lead early, held it most of the way. As we go back and look at some of the action here in the first quarter, little Jerry Johnson getting the ball out ahead, create a 2-on-1 situation. Look at here.
Oh, yeah, there's a nice timing pattern right there. Jeffrey Conley to Mario Donaldson for the dunk, the WBL dunking champion.
At the other end, you've got Calgary playing with that ball, that WBL ball. And Stuckey, who had a real good first quarter, 10 points. Here's 2 of them.
Well, you knew that Smith was talking to him. Smith was getting talked to by Stuckey. Stuckey was saying, I'm right behind you for the dunk. There's Chip Englund now. They came out on him, tried to get him to put the ball down on the floor. He made a nice fake, came up under the defender, and got the basket.
He had 19 points in the first half. We'll pause right now for a regional break. You're watching the World Basketball League on Sports Channel America. Coming to you tonight.
Marvel Recordings, along with Tough T, proudly presents the Concert of the Year, featuring EPMD, DJ Quick, Father MC, Chub Rock, and Gangstar. Thursday, June 6th at the Mecca Auditorium. Tickets on sale right now at all Ticketron outlets, Sears, and the Mecca box office. That's EPMD, DJ Quick, Father MC, Chub Rock, and Gangstar. Thursday, June 6th. Tickets on sale right now. Don't get kicked to the curb. If you didn't know, hello. Get your tickets today.
Hey, Milwaukee, you can win $500,000 or more. Just play TV Bingo Oneida. You'll have 5 chances to win, plus a shot at the $500,000 jackpot each Sunday morning on TV6.
To play at home, just order your TV Bingo cards. Call us at 1-800-238-4263.
Cards are just $2, so play as many as you'd like.
To win the biggest jackpot on TV, call right now.
That's TV Bingo Oneida, Sunday mornings at 10 on TV6.
Saskatchewan at halftime, 50% from the floor. Calgary, about 45% playing catch-up. Saskatchewan, a good free throw shooting team. We told you about that. About 88% when you round them. Calgary, not as good, getting more attempts, 68%. On the rebounds, however, Calgary took advantage of the board work. They go on top 20-15 there. And the turnovers, 11-10, one you don't brag about if you're Calgary. In the leading scorer department, Calgary, 19 points out of Chip Englund. Bradley leads the way for Saskatchewan with 10. Stroman with 8, Stuckey with 10 for Calgary, and Donaldson with 9, and Everett Stevens with 8 for the Saskatchewan Storm. So the halftime complete. The teams are ready to go. We're back here at the Saddle Dome. Magnificent building. This is one of the bigger buildings in the WBL, Tom?
Yes, it is. It's, unfortunately, it's set up really for hockey where they get that 19.5, but this is a very, very good crowd, but they're scattered over this huge building, and I think we're going to come out with paid attendance in the 5,000 or 6,000.
Roger Lyons. During all of his timeouts that we have listened to, he made a special point of talking about defense, and that is in keeping with what he discussed with us prior to the start of this one. That is trying to change the idea, the basic concept of what the Calgary 88s were built on a few years back, and that is run, run, run. He still feels that the name of the game to win is defense, and so he's trying to work more and more of that in.
Well, he played at Ashland College under Bill Musselman, who was a great defensive coach, and also coached at Ashland College, and they've always had the tradition of the good, solid defense, and defense is something that's going to be a constant for you every night.
60-53 is the score of the game. Calgary wins the tip. They go the other way. At the start of each quarter, they have a jump ball. You don't see that in the NBA. And on that little pull-up out of the corner, Calgary adds a pair, and they lead it now 62-53. That was Jimmy Thomas's first 2 points of the ball game. Started out with Everett Stevens, along with Dudley Bradley, Mike Flory, Jeff T. Conley, and Jerry Johnson for the Storm. Here's Perry Young trying to wheel one inside to Carlos Clark. Jim Thomas in there, and a steal by Jerry Johnson, and he'll take it in with an easy layup. So it's 62-55. Calgary with a lead just underway here in the third.
Well, it's going to be interesting now to see if Saskatchewan comes out, tries to run their break, get in their offense a little bit quicker. They really were taken out of what they wanted to do in that second quarter.
Chanted for Young, knocked away. Stevens had it. Young bangs the ball again, and a foul called on Everett Stevens. Everett 6'3", number 2 pick of Philadelphia back in '88 from Purdue. This is his first year in the WBL. 62-55. The Calgary 88s with the lead. Lots of folks that follow this league think that now that Calgary's home after that real rough first month on the road can fatten up their record and really challenge for the title again this year.
Well, Eddie, with 9 in a row at home, they could get off to such a good start now here in the first third of the season that nobody else will be able to catch them. Youngstown now has been beaten a couple of times at home. That normally doesn't happen.
And also beaten twice so far by Calgary. Bradley, incidentally, made that last 2-pointer right at the 24-second buzzer. 62-57. Calgary with the lead. Carlos Clark. And out of bounds it'll go. Pick it up. And if you're ready, let it rip.
Keep playing.
You heard Mike Riley in the background. Keep playing, keep playing. Encouraging his team defensively, not the 88s on the offensive end. Stroman missed the 3. Flory with a rebound. And a foul called on the play.
Eddie, after a guy has played professional basketball for about a year, they really get good at that continuation. Now you see Conley, when he comes in the break, I mean, he carries it all the way out, and that's how you get that 2 shots.
He's done a nice job of containing Conley. Remember, he was averaging 20.5 points a game coming in, and he had to pick it up where Donald Petty's normally would get all the scoring, but he was 2 for 6 from the floor in the first half.
But when Petty's and Pollard are playing, they really go inside to them a lot. They build their attack inside out, whereas without those two, it's a little bit different.
And without Petty's, you lose a lot of rebounding also, and Calgary dominated the boards in the first half.
Calgary basket, number 34, Perry Young, fouls on Saskatchewan, double zero, Michael Flory, his third, the team's first.
Perry Young now is another player as he's gotten a little bit more mature. I remember when he came out of college and was drafted by Portland, he was not quite as strong. Now he's found a home in the WBL. He's one of their fine players and has really become an inside, a deep post guy. He can do some things on the outside, but he likes to post up for the most part.
I had made a note that he was a good rebounder. I guess he had 9 in the first half. Conley fighting for rebound position. There he is again, Perry Young. 64-58 Calgary. They have the ball. That's Chip England. Open man, Jimmy Thomas. A running one-hander on the rack. Foul by Conley. That would have been good had it gone. It did not, but he'll go to the line for a pair.
You won't see Jim Thomas shoot the ball too much. He's out there basically as a floor leader. He's a very smart player. He's always played well on the European tours. Was one of the key players that goes to Europe with the WBL All-Stars. But with this team, when you've got Clark, you've got Chip England, he's not going to get the shots that he might with another ball club.
This team now 66-58 a lead. Jerry Johnson brings it down. You mentioned European players. Seaward Dayton has added Claudio Caldebella from Italy to play with their team. He's a world-class soccer player and a fine basketball talent as well. They're adding players and giving it a true international flair. And on a save attempt by Jeff D. Conley. Foul called on the play, and Flory will go to the line.
Well, Dayton, you mentioned Dayton. They also signed Eddie Hughes, who's a good, solid veteran point guard. He'll help Dayton a great deal. Nashville just signed Jay Taylor yesterday, who's a very good scorer, and they're in need of a guard. So they've helped themselves a lot.
66-61. Calgary with the lead. They have the ball. Jimmy Thomas. Thomas shooting the ball a couple times here in the second half. Under 7 to play in the third. Conley in the middle, looks right, then left, then comes back to Stevens. Uses the Conley screen, rims and out. Jimmy Thomas has got it. Here they go. They have a one-man advantage. England. Oh, boy, what a touch, huh?
That's right. And the thing is, the way he unloads it, that's what I like. He can really get rid of that ball in a hurry. He doesn't have to be out there with no one on him. Even if someone is on him, he can still get the shot.
69-61. Remember a little player that came out of the ACC several years ago by the name of Bob Verga?
Oh, Bobby Verga. Yeah.
He could shoot it, couldn't he?
Yeah, he'd love to shoot that 3 in the old ABA.
He could probably play in this league if he were around 20 years
he'd
later.
love it. He would love it. I don't know how the guys that love playing with him. he let it go all the time.
Here's Jefty. And on the drive, 69-63. Calgary with the lead. They have the ball. That's Jerry Stroman, the rookie from Utah. You see a lot of backdoor reverse plays. 71-63 now. The Calgary 88s at home leading Saskatchewan. Everett Stevens. Bradley bump, won't count, fouled on the play. Calgary with their 4th team foul. We'll take a timeout. Timeout as the World Basketball League takes a break on Sports Channel America with 5:50 to play in the third. The 80.
Step, the ball.
Power buying is rolling your way, bringing big savings to the newest Farmore store. At Farmore, we only buy when we get a terrific deal. Then we buy in tremendous quantities. That's power buying, and that saves you up to 50% on thousands of name brands every day. Farmore power buying gives you far more buying power.
Power buying saves. Save at Farmore.
Shop the Farmore not far from you.
You know, here we've got Roger Lyons in a timeout. You know, Eddie, one thing about timeouts, you've got to gear whatever you say to the slowest player, so to speak. In other words, if you've got one player, if you've got 4 guys that are terrific basketball minds, you've got one guy that maybe isn't quite as good, you have to gear everything you say to that player, because if one guy makes a mistake, you can waste the efforts of all the other players. So you can only basically make give 2 basic concepts during the timeout.
He's the chef. He's got a veteran cooking staff with him. Carlos Clark, Chip England, George Jackson, Jimmy Thomas, and Perry Young. It's nice to know that you've got those kind of veterans who've been together that can pull that stew together and have you a real fine quality product when you lay it on the table every night.
Well, that's right, and that's why they've had the success, because they not only have good players, but they have good players with character. And Roger's done a nice job when they bring a new guy on. He better be a good person. Of course, Mike Riley's done a terrific job in putting this team together here, and they're going to be a factor when they get the 2 other forwards back.
5:50 in the third, 71-63 Calgary. Should they win tonight, they would draw even in their division with Idle Youngstown. Youngstown at 8-5, Calgary at 7-5. Everett Stevens, he missed it. Carlos Clark gets it and goes to Jim Thomas. That's Stroman. And he is fouled.
Stroman did a nice job there with nice head and shoulder fake. It looked like he's going to take the 3. And then the defender came up on him. He gave him a nice head and shoulder fake, went to the midpoint there in the baseline and took the shot and was fouled.
What about players coming back from Europe to play in this league, Tom? Anybody of note that's going to help some of these teams?
Well, Brian Pollard, of course, is coming back. The big thing, though, Eddie, is that any player that comes back after June 8th can only get a certain salary. In other words, you don't want to get in a situation where a team could hide somebody out and say, hey, you just wait until the last month of the season. You have to be back. And if you come back after June 8th, it's going to cost you, I think you can only make, I believe, $200 a game. So the good players that are going to come back from Europe, they basically are here with the exception of Powell.
200 a game. Wow. 72-63 to score. Calgary with the lead. Add to Perry Young. And Jerry Johnson with a terrific spin move to get free of the defense. Dudley Bradley with a miss. Jim Thomas with a rebound. Outlet ahead. Stroman. Block shot. Dudley Bradley. But a foul called on the play. 74-63 Calgary. What did you think of that block?
Well, I've seen Dudley Bradley do that a lot. Again, that's one of his strengths. The good timing. Normally, now here we'll take a look right here.
This is Perry Young.
Well, Perry Young in this situation.
Jerry Stroman with 2 shots.
Well, that's a shot because he went and dunked it. You're not going to get that one.
74-63. Normally, you were saying that he wouldn't be able to get back and cover that, or would he normally get the call on that particular?
Well, no, on the one with Stroman, I mean, I've seen Dudley do that. And usually when you block a shot, you're coming off another man. You're not blocking the shot of the player that you're guarding.
Fleury, nice move by Fleury to go right around Perry Young.
See, that's a nice thing about the WBL. That was a 5-man making that move, rebounding and taking it all the way.
5-man being the center in layman's language. But that's, of course, a 5-man is in the vernacular of the coaches, as Coach Tom Masalki has put in his time there, so you can use it. 77-65 to score the basketball game. Calgary with the lead. Jim Thomas with the ball. Calgary in white. Saskatchewan in traveling purple. Stroman.
Might have shuffled his feet a little bit there, Eddie.
He did the dance without the hat under him that time. Nice move. Bradley comes up short. Mario Donaldson, he traveled with the ball.
The thing is, in Bradley's situation there, when you get the ball in there that deep, you've got to finish it.
Stroman back to Perry Young. Here's the center, or the 5-man, as Tom said, taking the shot. Stuckey had it, and a foul was called on the play.
Fouls on Calgary, number 23, Jerry Stroman.
Mike Riley has his board. He looks like he wants to talk a little business here. Call a timeout. 3:56 to play here in the third quarter. We'll take a pause for a regional break. You're watching the World Basketball League on Sports Channel America, live from Calgary.
Look to Melco for men's fashion this spring. Look to Melco for quality in men's clothing this spring. Look to Melco for 40% savings on all suits. Single-breasted, double-breasted, shorts, poplins, athletic cuts. All new and all at 40% savings. Melco Menswear puts together the look, the quality, and is always the best price. Now at 40% off for the best-dressed Milwaukee man. 2 locations downtown at 200 South Water and in Brookfield at 178th and Bluemont. Melco Menswear.
This week on Warner Home Theater.
Somebody in here?
I'm your new tenant.
He's perfectly charming.
I don't think you have a problem.
He's perfectly good at what he does.
Look, I know you're in there. I can hear you in there. Don't let this jerk chase me out of my own property.
And what he does
This is my business.
is perfectly terrifying.
Mr. Hayes? Is that you?
Melanie Griffith, Matthew Modine, and Michael Keaton. Pacific Heights, rated R.
Come right back up the gut and get the ball right there. Now look, you got to cut in on this lead a little bit during this quarter. Get it back down to 7 or 8 where it was. All right, let's go.
Well, Mike made a good coaching point there. Let's cut into the lead a little bit and get it down to about 7, because many times the team will panic a little bit. They think, hey man, we're out of it, we're down 12, and they try to get it back all at once. You don't get it done. So he said what you should say, you just try to cut it down gradually, go into that fourth quarter maybe where you're down by 5 to 7 points.
Everybody has fun here in Calgary. 77-65, Roger Lyons' team with the lead, 3:56 to play here in the third. Two teams played twice already. Season series is even at 1 each.
Eddie, when you see George Jackson now come in the ball game, think of what a cultural shock that had to have been to be the first American ever to play in the Soviet Union. I guess he did have a roommate that could speak a little bit of English, but think of what that would be like to go over there for 6 months.
Well, he did a whale of a job. He was the leading scorer in that Soviet league at 24 points a game. Just came back, takes a deep breath, he's ready to go. Mario Donaldson making the free throw. Incidentally, Calgary now over the foul limit. Saskatchewan goes over the limit on their next team foul. 3:48 to play in the third. And immediately trying to get the ball in the hands of Jackson. Jerry Johnson reaches in and commits the foul. Here's little Jerry from Florida Southern. Popular guy down in mid-Florida. 3:46 to play here in the third. Here's George. How long will it take him to adjust to this style of play, do you think, Tom?
Half a day, maybe.
That's it, huh?
I think so. I mean, the guys that do the best in this league are the guys that are the natural athletes. This is a league of great natural athletes, and if you're ready to run and gun, it isn't going to take you a long time.
Jackson, a left-hander, first American player to play in an NBL of the Soviet Union, the National Basketball League. Donaldson beats Jackson off the dribble. Bradley. Boy, he created a nice play there, didn't Donaldson?
Well, and so did Bradley, Eddie, because he jumped out. He jumped out to the open spot, and Donaldson hit him with a very nice pass.
It's the veteran quality. England on the iron, tipped in by Stuckey. 81-68. Calgary with the lead. Johnson off the penetration, got by Stuckey. Weems, what a pass. Jackson on the trail. Reverse not there. Here's Johnson under 3 to play in the third. Bradley. Man, these guys play like they got a pastry bag in their hand, the way they're weaving in midair. Perry Young. 83-70. Calgary. And Dudley Bradley, he will score the 2. He will get a chance for 3. And how the tempo is picked up. The last dunk by Perry Young was a classic.
Well, Perry Young is a strong guy, number one. So there he goes right to the basket. And that's the thing to do. Not just lay it up, but dunk it with power.
That's the way they used to be. The classic, the old-time dunks. Now, they put everything except whipped cream on them. Cherry on the top every now and then. 83-73, back to a 10-point Calgary lead on the free throws. Stuckey. Jackson, a little tentative, works against Jeff D. Conley. Throws the ball cross court, knocked away by Donaldson, picked up by Valentine.
Well, there, Eddie, Valentine looked everywhere but to his left, and George Jackson was coming up right behind him. He really didn't. I think we'll see right now. No, he doesn't really know where Jackson's coming from. Of course, there's the foul.
Jackson looks like he's suffering from a little jet lag, maybe. Back from the Soviet Union. All right, a timeout is called with 2:12 to play in the third. And so far, Calgary on top, 83-73. 10-point lead. They've got things going pretty well their way. And Tom, again, reiterating a point that I think we made validly in the first half. And as the end of the first half started to evolve and the score started to change, we got a chance to see Saskatchewan, a man short, starting to wear down.
Yeah, I think they have. When they'll get Donald Petty's back, we talked about that. That's 20 points gone. Pollard's also a 20-point guy. He's a WBL All-Star player. So you add those two to this ball club, they're going to be very, very good. Of course, Roger Lyons has got a terrific team right in place, and he also has got a strong rebounder, and John Hegwood coming back.
12-point game, and now it's going to cut it under Dimmock. Bullshit.
think Roger's going to get their attention. What do you think?
He's got mine.
Steve's going to try to sprint behind you. Offensively down here, we're in a twirl game. We're not in a dribble game. Move the basketball. And if you can't
While Roger finishes his thoughts, we'll switch to the thoughts of Chip England. As we mentioned, during the offseason, they put an all-star team together, and Chip England had some specific thoughts about that tour that goes to Europe.
Well, I think the tours are important because Commissioner Earhart's really pushing the world concept, and what it does, it legitimizes us in Europe, playing against the top Italians, the Yugoslavs, the Spaniards, and it also helps the players because we come back very experienced. But I think more importantly, it gives us a global look, and I think that's how the league's looking down the road.
Indeed, it has taken on the look of truly an international game, a global game, with teams coming over from Europe and future plans to probably expand the European theater.
Eddie, last week I was in Germany doing a basketball clinic, and I saw the Russians play, and one of their players, Igor McNelniks, I think that's fairly close, played in the WBL for Erie last year, and now is back playing in the Soviet Union. So we had 4 Soviet players in the WBL last summer. So that's a very nice exchange, and of course now with Jackson going over and playing the Soviet Union this last winter.
Mel Kennedy was released. This man was signed, Carlton Valentine. Rated by Youngstown, been on 4 teams in 3 years. He's from Michigan State, and he makes it an 83-75 ball game. So the big lead has disappeared in Calgary after a tongue lashing from their coach trying to get it back. Bad entry pass by Carlton Weems, or Kelsey Weems. Valentine, and suddenly Saskatchewan has trimmed the lead to 6.
I wonder if it's playing out in the prairies there, because I've never seen Valentine hit that shot before. He's done a nice job looking for that open shot, hitting about the 12, 15-footer.
Weems inside with a bounce beat. The second time in a row that he has thrown the ball away, trying to get it in deep. 2 turnovers by Weems. And now Donaldson trying a one-hand bounce beat, has it stolen away by Steve Smith. Weems. A little restitution of sorts. He gets 2 back, and it's 85-77. Calgary. Jerry Johnson trying to bogart his way through the crowd there, huh?
Well, that's what, of course, Kelsey Weems, you're talking about him. He steps the tempo up for Calgary, and of course the little guy here does a good job of penetrating it. Last time, you can maybe debate that call.
Carlos Clark will replace George Jackson. Kerry Young will also go out of the lineup. Let's see who we have out there. Weems, Stuckey, Stroman, Clark, and Steve Smith on for Calgary. Bradley comes off for Saskatchewan. Jerry Johnson, Jeff D. Conley, Valentine, and for the first time tonight, Robbie Metcalf, a 6'4", 205-pound rookie from Minnesota.
This has been a very well officiated game also, Eddie. The 2 mics are doing a good job. Anytime you don't notice the officials, that's pretty good criteria for saying that they're doing a very good job.
The Storm 14 for 17 at the line. Add another, while the 88's 19 for 28. And now an 85-79 6-point Calgary lead. Kelsey Weems. Stroman with a jump hook. And the rebound and a foul called on the play, and it's called against Robbie Metcalf. It's a tough spot for the young kid from Wisconsin Rapids to come to. He's been on the bench the entire game, and of course trying to catch up with these guys on the fly. A half step late, and he gets called for the foul.
Yeah, well, Mike Riley told me that when Metcalf came to camp, Mike didn't really expect him to make the ball club, but he just came in and started off hustling right away. And Mike likes him. Now, of course, they're going to have to let someone go here in the next day or so, which will be tough because I know Coach Riley likes his ball club.
85-79. Oh, boy. A couple of missed free throws. Saskatchewan catches a break. Johnson on the penetration. Metcalf can't get it. Ball loose. Out of bounds it goes. And the Storm hustle back defensively as Calgary cheats a man on the break. 85-79. Under a minute in the third. Weems all the way. Splits the D. Foul play. Chance for three.
That's just, again, we've talked about that acceleration. He does a great job. He changes hands, gets to the basket. He just, you mentioned, splits the defenders, but he has great acceleration. Andre Turner had that same type of acceleration. He could be going, not could be, still is, almost from a standstill and just blow by people.
14 points for Kelsey Weems. 88-79, so the lead that had gone to 6 is back up to 9. Calgary with the lead. Metcalf with the ball. Entry to Valentine. Valentine doing a good job here. It's 88-81. Valentine with 12. Big third quarter for Valentine off the bench. Out of bounds it'll go. They'll side front the inbound. 20 on the shot clock. 36 on the game clock here in the third. Out of the corner, Stroman. Hermelder. He needed 20. He got 22 out of it. Donaldson with a miss, followed by who? Conley. A big 2 follow with 21 seconds to play in the third. 88-83 within 5. Smith blocked by Donaldson. Valentine out ahead to Conley. And oh, how this lead has gone bye-bye for Calgary. Roger Lyons is going to be livid during the break. His team a lead of 3. The Storm with a steal. Tap it ahead with 1 second remaining. Oh, and Jerry Johnson with a chance to put his club to a tie. Wow. What a third to come back by Saskatchewan. After 3, 88-85, Calgary.
Let me have one of those delicious potato chips, huh? Eagle. They're the best. What a name, huh? Eagle. Eagle means the best. I've got the perfect motto for the company, too.
What is it?
Aquila non capit moscas. That's Latin.
What does it mean?
The eagle does not catch flies.
I got one, too. Tutto è finito.
What does that mean?
They're gonna fire us. Eagle snacks. Everyone loves them.
Yeah.
What's that cool going down? What's that chill rushing through you? What's that light that takes your breath away? That's a taste of real refreshment. That's the real love dying cold. That's a taste of real refreshment. Just for the taste of it. Dying cold. Power by saves. Save at Farmore.
Power buying is rolling your way, bringing big savings to the newest Farmore store. At Farmore, we only buy when we get a terrific deal. Then we buy in tremendous quantities. That's power buying, and that saves you up to 50% on thousands of name brands every day. Farmore power buying gives you far more buying power.
Power buying saves. Save at Farmore.
Shop the Farmore not far from you.
Mike Riley, the coach of the visiting Saskatchewan Storm. His team has come back from double digits down to within 3, and we're going to the fourth quarter. Last night in the WBL, take a look at some of the scores. Halifax with a win over Yugoslavia, one of the international entries, 99-73. Florida by 2 over Erie at 130-128. And Dayton beats Youngstown 108-88. Tonight, only one other game being played, and that's Memphis at the Canadian national team. There's Roger Lyons. He can't be too pleased. I look for him to try and push the ball against a man-shortened Saskatchewan team in the fourth.
Well, he's left Kelsey Weems in there, so you know that they're going to be looking to run that break. Weems is really his fast break leader.
And Calgary off to snap. England with the shot. He has 4 threes so far here tonight. To go along with the 22-point total. Stroman with a miss. Jeff D. Conley on the outlet. Donaldson. No look. Conley on the way down the lane. Good give back pass that time by Mario Donaldson. A 1-point Calgary lead. England to Young. Foul by Valentine. Perry Young will go to the line on a design set play off the post up.
Carlton Valentine's been a key player here now. Young tries to post him up. Valentine does. There's his hands on him. Does make the foul, but he's done a terrific job since he's been in the ball game.
Valentine with 12 time to reinforce your point.
Well, he's always been a strong rebounder and a pretty good defender, but I haven't seen him hit the open shot as well as he's hit it here tonight.
Perry Young with 12 points. So far, not much problem handling that basketball.
No, I think, Eddie, again, this just happened to be a new ball tonight. In most instances, you'll have an opportunity to use the ball for a couple days, but after a couple minutes, there's been no problem whatsoever.
Foul called. Saskatchewan trying to get it going. Perry Young on the foul. Remember, no one fouls out of the game. Now, let's take a look at Perry Young with his fourth. On the 7th personal foul, you go into the rule, and Tom, you might explain what that rule is.
Well, then the foul player gets to shoot, then the ball is taken out of bounds, so there's a heavy penalty. But basketball, the way it's played in the NBA, the way it's played in college basketball, there's a penalty on the top scorer. I mean, if he gets his 6th foul, he's out of there. Here, at least you keep your best player in the game. You may have to improvise a little bit, but you don't take him out, and I think that's the way it should be.
So they call it an excessive foul rule. They stay, but you pay the price, get the shots, and the ball retained by the fouled team. Perry Young penetrating, drive in the middle, and fouled on the play by Metcalf.
Again, now here's your 5-man, and that's Perry Young taking it to the basket.
See, on that play, Tom, Metcalf just held his ground, planted his feet, stood there, and taken the charge. The foul would have gone the other way. He elected to raise up, and that cost him. Valentine goes out. Flory is back in. Metcalf, the man you're looking at, the man that committed the foul, and at the line, Perry Young. 92 to 89. 93 to 89. Calgary with the lead. Johnson getting a lot of physical pressure by Kelsey Weems. Puts the head down, gets it up. Good job of bringing the ball up against the pressure within 8 seconds. And a nice spinning J by Mario Donaldson.
Mario wanted that shot. He came off a double screen coming from the weak side, got the ball at the top, and hit it. They did a nice job. Saskatchewan did a nice job of picking their guy off, their men off.
Metcalf very quickly picking up his 3rd foul. Well, he looks to be a little out of sync. But again, if the team were healthy and Petty's were here, Metcalf probably wouldn't be playing.
No, he wouldn't get that much time, Eddie. He's down there at the bottom, 9th or 10th man. And again, there'll be a change or two made at Saskatchewan.
And Dudley Bradley replaces Metcalf in the ball game. 93-91, 8:51 to play in the 4th. Carlos Clark. Yeah, if you just joined us, he's the same Carlos Clark that came out of Ole Miss in '83 and was with the Boston Celtics from '83 to '85. 95 to 91 Calgary. Clark with 7 points. Out of bounds, and it'll go back to Saskatchewan.
The two Mikes, I mentioned that again, they've done a very nice job of officiating in a very, very fast-paced game.
95-91, Calgary with the lead. Conley stripped, Clark with a steal. He does that well. Out ahead with a 1-man advantage. Weems cuts to the rack and lost the ball out of bounds. And Kelsey Weems, as quick as he is and as many good things as he's done, he turns the ball over a lot too.
I think when you have a player like Kelsey, you've got to live with that, Eddie, because he's going to do certain things. He's very, very quick. He is going to turn it over periodically.
Good point. Quickness will do that. Remember Lucius Allen? Boy, was he quick.
Yeah, and Lucius did that a lot too, right?
Right.
You'd make that turnover every once in a while. And we've seen, again, Dudley Bradley do this type of thing, the good steal.
Johnson missing, getting it back, trying it again, 95-93. The Storm staying right there, Tom, under 8 to play.
Well, Mike Riley's done an absolute great job in keeping this team together in spite of the injuries that they've had. They're playing very good basketball, playing very, very hard.
Weems and Jerry Johnson, if you haven't already noted, are having a terrific hand-to-hand battle, both on the ball and off the ball. There's Kelsey Weems, 95 to 93.
Well, the thing, yeah, there's the foul right there by Dudley Bradley. The thing is, with Johnson, and now you've got Jim Thomas coming in the ball game. So I would say that Roger maybe is going to go a little bit more pattern type offense now with Thomas in the game.
Saskatchewan, and this could be a big factor, Tom, here in the fourth with their 4th team foul. Calgary only 1. So the next foul, penalty time, as the bonus will go into effect for Calgary on the next Saskatchewan team foul. And of course, that always hurts when you're getting fouls and going to the line and the other team isn't. In a close ball game. Mario Donaldson, he can sky. As they say, like good yeast, he can rise. And a foul call on the post up. And this foul will go on, let's see, Jimmy Thomas. That's the 2nd team foul on Calgary. Conley, Jerry Johnson, Dudley Bradley, Mario Donaldson. Saved by Donaldson. Fleury out of position. Conley over Clark. Well, that Conley can get up there, can't he?
Oh, he can. He's just a tough guy. He reminds, well, in build anyway, reminds me a lot of Don Kogis, the old Marquette player. Just kind of the way he's put together. He can't score like Don could, though.
Kogis didn't have those kind of hammers, though.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Thomas. Jimmy Thomas. And it's 98-93. Calgary as they widen the gap a little bit with 6:50 to play in the 4th. Conley, foul, goes to the line, maybe a 3. Perry Young commits. 98-95, a chance to make it a 2-point ball game, and something to keep in mind as we look at Conley taking the ball to the basket.
Well, there's just a great drive by Jeffrey Conley. The thing that I was going to mention, Eddie, well, now Calgary's made a change. They had 3 guards in the lineup for a little bit, but now they've come back. Now they've taken Perry Young out.
That's the 5th foul against Perry Young.
Well, they still got the 3 in there with Kelsey Weems, Jim Thomas, and Chip England. So they still got three small players.
2-point ball game, 98-96, the 88s. A lot of numbers in throwing at you. 98-96, the 88s. Jim Thomas. Rebound by Stuckey. And now it's Dudley Bradley's turn to bring it over. Overlay, Fleury gets it back. And a foul call by Fleury. Well, earlier in the game, we were talking about some of the fellas that are close to the 6'5" mark and some of the incidences that have happened to try and measure them and keep them under that mark.
Well, I had a player by the name of Sylvester Gray last year, and the league had 2 teams, I think, complained about him. And so we'd measured him about great player, great shot by Chip England. And so the league sent someone in to measure him, and it was close, but he passed. That would have been a $10,000 fine and a suspension of the coach. Yours truly.
Wouldn't want that to happen. Dudley Bradley, again a 2-point game. I've heard stories of fellas putting barbells on their shoulders for a couple of hours, hoping to compress the vertebrae so that when they measured them, it'd be a fraction under the 6'5" mark, just to beat the limit. Jim Thomas on the miss. Here comes Mike Fleury. This is his center leading the break. And dumps it into the corner to Donaldson. He misses a chance to tie the ball game with 5:17 to play. Calgary will take a timeout. Should it go to overtime, it's a 7-point sudden death job. Keep it in mind, 2-point lead Calgary.
Thursday night, Sports Channel America serves up a little bit of the blarney with an all-Irish night of sports. Golf, horse racing, rugby, and more come your way direct from Ireland. The Irish Sports Cavalcade, 7:30 Eastern, only on Sports Channel America. Thursday night. 1-900-896-2333. The Sports Channel America Sports Hotline for all the scores.
In a 3-2 overtime thriller.
For sports news.
Some big free agent signings today.
1-900-896-2333 is all you need. 24 hours a day, every day. Get late-breaking results and news on your favorite sport.
For basketball, press 1 now.
1-900-896-2333. The Sports Channel America Sports Hotline. Call today. Wednesday nights, take a closer look at America's future Olympic stars on U.S. Olympic Showcase. See boxing's World Championship Challenge and girls' World Junior Fast Pitch Softball. 7:30 Eastern on Sports Channel America, Wednesday.
Planning. Where'd I get the capital to start this business with my daughter? By investing for the long haul. And forget full commission brokers. I called Charles Schwab. Munis, mutual funds, blue chips, and I saved plenty with Schwab's low commissions. Every day I tell my daughter, think long term. Make your own decisions. Be your own man.
For a free Schwab Fact Kit, call toll-free 800-841-0300.
Calgary can't put away Mike Riley's team. They're hanging tough, trailing by 2.
So, Mike is really under control, and this is the best way to deal with today's players. I mean, you just can't go off on guys the way you used to be able to years ago. You just have to be not necessarily professorial, as you used to call Ron Blomberg back in the old days, but you can't go off on him. He's just doing a great job of being under control in the timeout.
Ryan Pollard, of course, is going to be an add. Be a nice addition, too. This fellow here, Riley, looking forward to his return.
Ryan's the type of a guy that we're looking forward to adding to our ball club. We feel like we've been very competitive so far this year, but a little added depth at this point in the season is something that we're definitely going to benefit from. And Brian brings us a dimension in all 3 important areas of the basketball game, which is offense, defense, and rebounding.
Yeah, it'll be a nice addition. Get Petty's back. 198 hanging in here with the home Calgary 88s, a team that many people figure will be right there when it's all said and done this year. 5:17 to play in the 4th quarter. 2-point ball game. Jim Thomas of Calgary handling. Kelby Stuckey back to Chip Englund, coming off that high screen, trying to take the shot, forced it, and Jeff D. Conley's got it. Saskatchewan with a chance to tie. That's Everett Stevens. Mario Donaldson down to Dudley Bradley. High off the glass. Bradley has become a scorer in this league, and he's got 21 tonight.
Well, he did a nice job of posting up deep, and they got him the ball, and he just turned around, hit that turnaround jump shot.
Stuckey, high lob. There's a danger in fronting people in this league.
I think there's a danger of fronting people anyway. I think you can side them. I don't like the front. I like to play either behind or side.
Bradley had nowhere he could go, looked right and left, and then took that little fadeaway. That's a tough one to stop. I don't care who you are, and it's 102 to 102. Thomas on the drive, fouled by Everett Stevens. We're all tied. We have 4:18 to play.
No, you get a situation like Jim Thomas going to the basket. That's a play you've got to finish. I mean, you've got to extend to the basket. It's got to be 2 and possibly a foul.
There's something else with these figures, Nasalka. You've been around this game too long. 5,059 here tonight. You said somewhere around 5.
Well, hey, I've been around a long time, Ed.
Well, you left the hotel at about 1 today. Were you counting tickets? 4:18 to play, regulation. 103-102. Thomas, 104-102. Calgary a lead.
Been a very responsive crowd, I might say.
Well, they responded when you walked in here tonight with a standing ovation. About 10 people in the crowd at the time.
I think that's right.
Englund knocked down. Lucky he didn't get a leg injury. Stuckey and a jam. And suddenly a break in Calgary, a 4-point lead. Under 4 to play. Can't afford turnovers now. Deflected by the 88 Stuckey. Jerry Johnson And the Storm with Everett Stevens, Dudley Bradley, Jeffy Conley, and Valentine are on the floor to try and get a couple here. Uh-oh. And there's what we were talking about. You really have to be careful of the turnovers now.
Well, you do, and you've also got a very smart team that you're playing against that's going to take advantage of any mistakes you make, especially at this stage of the game.
Storm with 16 turnovers, Calgary 19. Nice little steam shovel layup by Everett Stevens. 106 to 104. The Calgary Flames with 3:33 remaining. I said Flames, it's 88, but there's a flame going on the floor right now by Calgary. Like that. I looked up and I saw one of those Flames signs here in the building. How about that?
Well, we were talking about Badger Bob Johnson, too. He used to coach here, who we both know pretty well.
Badger Bob. There's Jeffy Conley. And it's 109 to 106. Calgary with the ball. There's Chip England. Gets the back screen by Stuckey. Stevens fights through the pick. Back out, gets it. Have a two-man game going on the right. Excellent job by Valentine, Tom, to fight through.
He did, and he sided the guy. He sided him. Didn't give a very good passing angle in there. Chip really kind of telegraphed the pass a little bit.
And England deflects the entry attempt. Here's Thomas. And they won't give him continuation. Didn't matter because it didn't go. Foul call. We're down to 2.5 to play. 2:33 to be exact. Timeout. Calgary at home. Riley's team trailing by 3. Don't go away now.
Climb aboard for a cockpit view of America's great air battles. 4 action-packed video cassettes that zero in on our spectacular history of combat aviation. Fly with World War II's most fearsome fighter planes. The Warhawk P-40 in China. The Lightning P-38 in the South Pacific. The Thunderbolt P-47 over North Africa and Europe. The Mustang P-51s that struck at Germany. Learn how the helicopter became our most effective combat weapon in South Korea and Vietnam. Take off with the men behind the guns. Fighter races from World War I's Eddie Rickenbacker to Vietnam's Steve Ritchie. Hold on tight for a thrilling view of our incredible jet fighters in never-before-seen battle footage. Warbirds of World War II, Chopper Fury, the fighter races, the jet wars. Each action-filled volume is only $14.98. Save $10 and order the collector's set of all 4 volumes in this handsome case for only $49.98.
To order, call the toll-free number on your screen now. They're taking off, so climb aboard. Call the 800 number that's on your screen now.
Get ready to launch yourself into the world of Air and Space Smithsonian, a world that captivates the imagination. Satellites, superjets, soaring, something different every other month. There's no other magazine like Air and Space, and with your subscription comes membership in the National Air and Space Museum in Washington.
To order Air and Space, call 800-841-0300 and receive a full year. 6 issues for just $18 with membership in the National Air and Space Museum. 800-841-0300.
Oh, boy, they're jamming here at the Saddle Dome, the Olympic Saddle Dome.
Coming out of that box motion, let's get into our shooters and let's move.
Let's just listen to Roger here. The thing that, and this is something that's you see more with the veteran club, listen to the give and take that they have with the different players. With a younger team, Mike Riley's not going to do that as much. An older team, these guys have been in this situation many times before. So let's just listen to what Roger's got to say.
You got to get away from it. Let's try it next time down. Hey, if it's a miss, though, look ahead and create. We're shooting free throws right here. Okay, we're shooting free throws. Listen.
And notice that they do listen. He said, listen. He's letting them all talk. Then he said, listen. They're ready to go. That was an impressive timeout.
Everybody hear that?
There's nothing so disconcerting as having a team not listen to a coach who's trying to get a point across. And sometimes teams will get away from you. That will happen.
Oh, that's the first time fans, anytime you watch a game, you watch and see what players do during the timeout. That's the first really example of when you see a team getting away from a coach. Not only just that game, but like maybe the coach isn't going to be around a long time. You see that. You see that when things start to go bad.
They look into the crowd, talking to the guy next to him.
That's right. Where are they going afterwards?
Yeah, right. Jim Thomas at the line makes the first. 110 to 106, 233, and two big free throws by Thomas. It's 111 to 106, 230. Saskatchewan is over the limit on fouls now. Calgary still has one to take. And on the outlet attempt, the Storm with a steal. Oh my goodness, almost a big mistake by Everett Stevens. But the Storm hang in there, and now they're within 3 with 2:12 to play. 111, 108, crowding the 2-minute mark.
2 minutes left in the quarter, 2 minutes.
Carlos Clark. There's a matchup. Clark on Dudley Bradley. A couple of old veterans. And Clark comes away with a deuce.
Oh, a big basket, Eddie. They went to Carlos in a 1-on-1 situation. He missed the shot that fouled it, got the 2.
Conley has it blocked, taken away by Clark. Up ahead trying to go to Stroman. Foul called against Jerry Johnson. And it's starting to come a little unraveled here for the Storm. Roger Lyons' team tightening it up down the stretch with 1:39.
Well, a thing that Roger did in the last 5 or 6 minutes, he went with three inside, or not 3 inside guys, but 3 outside guys, and Chip England, Jim Thomas. Of course, he's got Stroman in there, small guy, Carlos Clark. He's got a very, very small lineup in there.
Again, repeating a foul that normally would not be a shooting foul, but because the Storm are over the limit, it's bonus time and taking advantage of it. It's been big down the stretch. These free throws that the Calgary team are making now are the result of being in the bonus, and they're taking advantage of it.
Well, you called that early, Eddie, with about 6 minutes to go. You called it was a 1-to-4 foul difference, I believe, and it's turned out that's been the difference.
And 44 free throws for Calgary hasn't hurt. 21 for Saskatchewan. Big difference right there. Tough to win on the road, as they say. 1:36 to play. 114 to 108 the score. Calgary with the lead. What does Roger have to say?
Jeffy's here.
We're gonna have Mike Riley here. I like the way both coaches have handled their timeouts. Both of them have been under control. Both of them have done a very good job.
To force 3-pointers.
Yeah, good point. It is. There's a lot of time.
And if we can get some penetration.
And that's a good coaching point. Even though you're down 6, you still don't need to go for the 3 right now.
114 to 108. 1 minute and 36 seconds remaining in regulation. The World Basketball League wrapping up an eventful evening here in Calgary, and that man Roger Lyons' team trying to draw even with the Youngstown Pride in the Northern Division. Valentine is in at the middle. He's playing the center spot of the 5-hole, as Tom indicated earlier. Jerry Johnson, Dudley Bradley, the veteran, against Stroman, the rookie. That's the one you want to take advantage of, and they can't. And a loose ball foul called against Stuckey. And for Calgary, that's the foul that they could afford to take. That was number 4. Well, that wasn't a bad foul. They called a foul on Jim Thomas.
No, that's good. That was. You had the big boy who was going to get the rebound, so that was all right to make that foul.
Bradley for 3. Hello.
A 3-point basket by Dudley Bradley.
And right back come the Storm. 114 to 111. Any fouls committed now by either team would be bonus time. Jim Thomas against Johnson. And he tries to take the little man down the boulevard of broken dreams, and a foul is called.
That was kind of interesting. It looked like they had it set for Jim Thomas to try to go one-on-one, even though you've got Carlos Clark, Chip England out there. They just thought maybe they had an advantage on Jerry Johnson.
Everett Stevens is in at one of the guard spots. Jeff D. Conley, Valentine, Johnson, and Dudley Bradley for the Saskatchewan Storm. Now this man right here, Jim Thomas, has made some huge free throws down the stretch. He's made 7 big free throws down the stretch, Tom, and that's given Calgary a 116-111 lead, and a timeout is called with 1:03 to play.
Yeah, well, Roger Lyons obviously knew what he was doing when he went with the 3 small men I mean, in fact, he's got a very, very small lineup in there with his 3 guards. He's got Carlos Clark and then Stuckey as his rebounder. So he's taken a chance or two. We've done a very, very nice job coaching.
If we had trouble with their prep. Now, right now, your situation is you're at a +6 with 103
Again, we've had some great shots at timeouts. Boy,
what we've got to have here is we've got to have one defensive stop. Now, what are they going to look at here? They'll look to get the...
We're going to throw it in right there. Okay, now here's what we want. Jeffy, right here. Right down here. Carlton here. Everett, we're going to change you. You're right there. Right there. Jerry, you're still here. All right. Start down, set that pick, and come off. Get outside the 3-point line. Carl, 1 step and pick. Okay, go down. Okay. You're going for Conley. Right, okay. Everett.
Well,
1 step.
there's a lot at
pick.
stake early in the
We're bringing
season
him up.
for the Calgary team. If we look at the standings, you get an indication of what I had talked about before, and that is the 88s with a win tonight could make it happen. They could move into a tie with the Youngstown Pride or Idle. Both teams would be 8-5 if Calgary can hang on here.
Well, we talked about it earlier. With the 9-game homestand, you can get your level of confidence built up so high with that tremendous start, nobody's going to be able to touch you.
In the South, the Southern standings, Nashville, Dayton, the Florida Jades, Memphis, and the international teams. One other game tonight that could affect those standings. Memphis playing the Canadian national team. That figures in the Southern Division. We don't have a result of that game for you, but we've gotten an idea about the 2 divisions, the new look 2 division, World Basketball League. They work as hard as the players, those people.
They're having a good time. That's a pretty good dance team. They did some things at halftime. They're good.
I saw you out here working with them a little earlier, too. You're pretty good at that stuff. Hot footing Tom Missalke. Bradley for a 3. Englund. You understand why he took it with less than a minute to play. His team down by 5. And a good move by Thomas away from Bradley. Thomas has made 8 of 8 free throws tonight. 7 down the stretch. Clark.
See, that's something I was just going to mention. That's something you don't want. You don't want the foul because there's still plenty of time.
Plenty of time, 39 seconds. Can't commit fouls here. Penalties in on both sides.
No, that foul was made with 6 seconds on the clock on the drive. So just a very poor job defensively.
Bradley now with 6 personal fouls. Should he commit another foul, remember, you get the shots plus retention. You don't foul out. That's the excessive foul rule, and Mike Riley's going to take a final timeout right here. Let's double check to see where they are. Actually, Saskatchewan has got another timeout to take if they want to. 39 seconds remaining in the game. 119-111. And how the Calgary team is pulled away down the stretch from a time when it was 102 to 102.
Big thing, I think the changes that Roger Lyons made. He had the 3 small guys, Englund, Thomas in there, Carlos Clark, Stroman.
They got the basketball.
Kelsey Weems in there for a while. He went with a very small lineup most of the 4th quarter.
3-point shot. So what we've got to do is we've got to extend our defense completely out in the perimeter and make sure everything is back at the basket.
Yeah, this is a good point now. Coach Lyons is talking about extending his defense out and making Saskatchewan go for the 2 rather than get the 3. And that's a fairly common strategy when a 3-point shot can hurt you. But extend it out, force the ball, force the player to the basket.
Right? And then let him bring it, and we'll get down the floor. We'll stay with box 4. Let's get a hold. Let's get a hold. Right. Now, again, everything defensively is back here.
Mike Riley.
Then we got to extend the defense out. We got to extend the defense all the way out to full court. Make sure we get matched up. Don't worry about which man you got. You can't worry about a mismatch right now. You just got to get up on the nearest guy to you and deem and try to deny the ball.
Whoever said coaching is an easy job is crazy.
Did it ever concern you? Did you think about it when they had the shotgun mics in the huddle? Was that something you felt like might reveal some of the things that you were doing?
No, not at all. I think it's good for the game. I think fans love it when they have an opportunity to hear what coaches have to say. It's a great, I think, a great thing to do.
Important point, Tom. Calgary on free throws, 14 for 16 in the second half. They've taken advantage. Thomas, 8 for 8 in the game, has certainly been a lift with 7 down the stretch. 119 to 111. On the come around. Everett Stevens, he's got the 3. 119, 114, 30 seconds remaining. A double check on timeouts. Saskatchewan has none remaining. Calgary with 1 and a 20. And a foul call, Everett Stevens. He had to foul him there.
Yeah, he had to foul. The only thing you can do a little bit differently in that situation is try for a steal. Really slap the ball as hard as you can slap it. Try to hit the guy's wrist and just kind of force a steal or force a loose ball. And then if they call it, they call it.
Stuckey, who had the big first quarter with 10, misses the free throw. He has 18 points in the game. And his team with a 119-114 lead in 28 seconds to play. The Storm with no timeouts left.
Eddie, I came close to being right on in the attendance. I'll make another call for you. This Saskatchewan team is going to be very good about one more week when they get all their boys.
Valentine misses the 3. Rebound, Jim Thomas. Jump ball with 17 seconds remaining. Riley and the Storm having to launch them from downtown to get back. They trail it by 6.
Well, they trail it by 6. They've done a great job. The players have played hard. The thing is, everybody's encouraged because they know they're going to be very good. They're going to be, I think, the sleeper team in the league this year.
All right, we'll remember that. Coach Tom Nissalke said, saved by the Storm. Jump shot out of the corner by Stevens. He thought he was foul. Carlos Clark goes to Thomas. And the pressure's on, and Johnson with a foul.
Fouls on Saskatchewan, number 1, Jerry Johnson.
Jerry Johnson on the foul with 5 seconds remaining. And Calgary with a 6-point lead. And guess who's at the free throw line again? How important have the free throws been here in the second half? And for this man, Thomas, who is 9 for 9 for the game. Bobby Knight would have been proud. 122-114. 5 seconds remaining. Bradley. And Dudley Bradley tries and is fouled with 1 second remaining. 1 second remaining. Fouled for 3. And he can get it up to 117 if he converts all of these. But it's still all going to be for naught. As the crowd's starting to roll out, and Roger Lyons feeling a little better now.
Yeah, he's feeling better, but he's not happy with it because that was the situation. There's no reason to make that foul.
Dudley Bradley with 27 points. Nice night for the former North Carolina and NBA star. A lot of teams coveted this fellow in the NBA because of the way he played defense. I mean, there were a lot of teams. Well, obvious evidence by the fact 7 teams, 9 years.
He was the consummate role player that just did not score it good enough to find a slot.
And the Storm not quite good enough to beat the Calgary 88s tonight. But, as Tom Nissalke said, look out for Saskatchewan, a team to be reckoned with very shortly.
Well, I think they will. I'm glad. I have a lot of respect for both coaches. Mike Riley's been a great friend for years, and Roger I got to know well last year. 2 super people.
Carlos Clark will be back. Roger Lyons with a win. They're tied with the Youngstown Pride in the Northern Division. Final score, the Calgary 88s 122. The Saskatchewan Storm 117 as the WBL put on a show.
Tuesdays, America's love affair with the outdoors takes on a whole new meaning. Fishing and hunting tips and culinary wonders are just a few of the ingredients on Outdoors America. 9:30 Eastern on Sports Channel America, Tuesdays.
The world's greatest bodybuilder, Lee Haney, winner of 7 straight Mr. Olympia titles, beating Arnold Schwarzenegger's record.
Now you too can learn the same secrets that made me the greatest bodybuilder of all time.
Lee Haney introduces 3 new training videos for the arms, chest, and legs. Presenting the Power Arm Workout for those looking to be armed and dangerous. Add mass and power to your biceps. Sculpt and define your triceps. The Massive Chest Workout. Let Mr. Olympia Lee Haney help you blast those pecs and develop that titanic chest. The Explosive Leg Workout is a muscle-pumping video with leg-blasting routines and monstrous squats that'll add size to the thighs and calves.
Now's your chance to purchase the complete package. Buy all 3 videos and save $30.
That's right. Buy all 3 and save $30, or buy each separately and pay $39.99. Work out with Lee Haney and learn Mr. Olympia's secrets. Call toll-free and order now.
1-900-896-2333. The Sports Channel America Sports Hotline for all the scores.
In a 3-2 overtime thriller.
For sports news.
Some big free agent signings today.
1-900-896-2333 is all you need. 24 hours a day, every day. Get late-breaking results and news on your favorite sport.
For basketball, press 1 now.
1-900-896-2333. The Sports Channel America Sports Hotline. Call today. Get on basketball's fast track with the World Basketball League Game of the Week.
Las Vegas showtime. Yeah!
Yugoslavia versus Memphis on Sports Channel America Saturday.
Final score in this one, the Calgary 88s 122, the Saskatchewan Storm 117. It was a good one, tied as late as 102, and a veteran by the name of Carlos Clark had himself a big night. Not so much in scoring, but the way he performed under pressure and kind of led his team around with 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 block shots. And he's Tom the Sulky's guest. Tom?
Carlos, let's talk a little bit about that first quarter. I thought it was going to be about 170 to 140.
Well, we strive on getting out to a fast start every game. Coach stresses that a lot, but Saskatchewan, they surprised me tonight. They came out and ran more than I thought they would.
I thought they did a good job. They're going to be a good ball club when Pettis gets back in the lineup and, of course, when Pollard's back there.
No doubt. You know, I think Don is probably the backbone of that team, but they have some other players like Conley and Dudley Bradley, guys that can really put the ball in the basket. And right now I think it's become a rivalry between the two of us.
What about now your half-court trap? You ran it looked to me about 6 or 7 times and always got something off it. I don't know what you call it defensively, but you trapped it on the sides. They either made them cough the ball up or throw some kind of an interception.
Well, we call it the 40-up. It's just a half-court trap. You try to have the ball up out on the floor, and we do it in spots. They try to catch teams off, and like you said, we did get a few steals tonight off of that. And we constantly work on that in practice, and I think we've gotten better and better as the season been going on.
Carlos, one last thing. Roger Lyons said that you were the best player he's seen in this league. That's a heck of a compliment because I know what kind of person you are. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Ed, it's back to you.
Okay, Tom, thank you, Carlos, with your 12, your 4 rebounds, your 4 blocks, and a win for the Calgary 88s. Final 122-117. Some final thoughts on the way back.
The acclaimed PBS series on the Civil War is now available on home video cassette from Time Life Video. The reviews are overwhelming.
If better use has ever been made of television, I have not seen it. A video miracle. Magnificent.
5 years in the making, the Civil War brings to life the most devastating conflict in our nation's history.
It's the lonesome dove of documentaries.
It's the complete story of the war as told through the eyes of those who lived it. Call now and we'll deliver your first episode for just $14.99 plus shipping and handling. Watch as a massive Union army meets Robert E. Lee and his rebels at Gettysburg to wage this legendary battle. The Civil War. Call now. Use your credit card and call toll-free for your first episode on the Battle of Gettysburg for just $14.99 plus shipping and handling. Future videos will arrive about every other month. There's no commitment to buy. Cancel anytime.
Dudley Bradley with 29 for Calgary, 24 to Chip England for the winning Calgary 88s. They win at 122-117 and are now tied with the Youngstown Pride in the Northern Division of the WBL. Next Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, Our WBL Game of the Week features the Yugoslavian national team visiting the Memphis Rockers. Check local listings, as it's not available in all areas. Coming up next, USA Soccer. The U.S. national team plays the national team from Ireland. Exciting soccer action on Sports Channel America. Now, this is Eddie Doucette on behalf of Tom Nasalki and our entire production crew in Calgary, Canada, saying so long from the Olympic Saddledome.